We are now in a food inquisition. And so I want to talk to you about this inquisition because the people who are administering this food inquisition and putting farmers like me on the rack have a certain set of assumptions. So what I'm going to do is go down through about 12 assumptions and then my answer to the inquisitors. Number one, oh, you can't feed the world. You can't be serious. You can't feed the world. This is crazy. See, this is really important because ultimately, the reason these inquisitors can go in and sit in their pews on Sunday and take the sacraments and feel good about themselves, about protecting the world from people like us, is as long as they really believe that I want to starve half the world, they're doing the world a favor. If we can't settle the feeding the world issue, then the whole ecological food movement might as well go home. Now we're post-World War II. The war is over. It's done. We've got all of this latent buildings, infrastructure, investments, Wall Street, time tied up in NP&K making bombs. You're a farmer in 1947. You don't have rural electrification. You don't have chippers. You don't have little hydraulic front-end loaders, tractors. I mean, some counties in America didn't even get rural electrification until 1965. And Sir Albert Howard's gift to the world of scientific aerobic composting came before all of this infrastructure was developed to leverage that gift of innovative knowledge. But what the world did have was the chemistry, the distribution system, and the manufacturing capability to make NP&K. And besides, for I don't know why, but for some reason, bombs have always seemed to be more sexy than compost piles. So now, our side is spinning circles around the other because we did it. We metabolized the information. We didn't have a Manhattan Project to give the other side an unfair advantage. That's the truth. And so this perception that, boy, I'm sure glad we had the Green Revolution, all those chemical fertilizers, half of us would be dead. That's a bunch of hooey. If we'd have had a Manhattan Project for compost, not only would we have fed the world, we would have done it without making three-legged salamanders and infertile frogs. That's one response. The second response is that we have tons of unused land. In the U.S., we have 35 million acres of lawn. We have 36 million acres housing and growing food for recreational horses. And let's not talk about golf courses. There is tons of land, unused land. In fact, that's enough land in the U.S. to feed the entire country without even having a farm. Don't tell me we can't feed the world. You want to know how food production gets measured today? Here's what's on the front page of the newspaper. Here's what's the page for print. Study finds GMO rice more productive than indigenous species. That's the front page of the newspaper. Here's how that study was done. Here's how it happened. This is the truth. So we're going to study GMO, genetically modified organism productivity. So somebody in Australia, the U.S., Great Britain, somewhere that's got a lot of money, they get together a PhD. And the United Nations has this grant money. So a PhD that likes to write grants, and sit there and funked over his computer all the time, he writes this grant to go to Vietnam. He's always wanted to see that country anyway, and do a food study. So the PhD takes a couple little, nice little MA, master's degree candidates to tote his luggage behind him and, control all the data. And they go out to Vietnam and set up their feeding plots. They've got their GMO rice here, and here's the indigenous plot. And the indigenous plot has rice in it. It's got tilapias to eat the snails and the little scum underneath the water. And it's got ducks in there to eat the weeds that grow. and lay eggs and grow meat. And then surrounding this patty is bok choy, arugula, and Chinese cabbage. This one, they nuke it real good with chemical fertilizers, and they dump all the chemicals on it, and boy, does it grow rice. And so they take their data sheets and they grow the rice and they cut it and they measure the rice. And the conclusion is, wow, look at all this rice. What about the tilapia, the fish? What about the ducks? What about the eggs? What about the bok choy and the arugula? Well, we came to study rice. And that, folks, is exactly the kind of science that will be on the front page of tomorrow's newspapers tomorrow. It happens every single day, and the duplicitous sheeple just follow it. Yes, we can feed the world. Not only can we feed the world, we are the only system ultimately that actually can feed the world. It's only in massaging symbiotic, synergistic, relational, nurtured, complex relationships, biomimicking what we see as pattern, as templates of pattern in nature. Those are the systems that are actually competitive and productive. We've got to stop for tonight. Now may all your carrots grow long and straight. May your 3 trillion internal bacteria be well-fed and happy. May your elected officials refuse to eat cheese and sip wine with industrial elitists. May freedom and common sense find a home in Canberra. May the wind be always at your back, the rain fall gently on your fields, your children rise up and call you blessed, and may all of us leave a better world than we found. There you go.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
G'day, how are you?
Hi, good.
All the shit you know about government.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I'm a very optimistic person. Start talking about conspiracies. It's negative. Free them up. Yeah, although I thought all this.
I know.